Caves hold astounding discoveries, strange treasures from ages past buried in their dark recesses that illuminate mysteries of our history. Though only a select few know the full extent of these dramatic finds hidden in caverns worldwide, they have the power to reshape our understanding of ancient civilizations. Join us as we unveil 15 mysterious cave discoveries that have shocked people all over the globe. Number 15. Snail of Lukina, Jama. Deep within the depths of Croatia's Lukina Jama cave system lies a wondrous discovery, ghostly translucent snails belonging to an entirely new species. This cave system, located in the mountainous region of western Croatia, is renowned for its immense depth, plunging to a staggering 1,431 meters below the surface. Ranked among the top 20 deepest caves globally, Lukina Jama Cave presents a challenging environment for subterranean life. In 2012, a team of cavers and biologists embarked on an expedition into this light-deprived underground realm. As they ventured deeper into the cave's intricate passageways collecting animal specimens, they stumbled upon something extraordinary. Tiny, ghostly, pale snails no more than 2 millimeters in height. Under the cavers' headlamps, these minuscule mollusks appeared translucent, their soft bodies visible through delicate dome-shaped shells. The translucent quality of the snails is a rare trait, particularly among terrestrial gastropods. The team could not identify the pale snails, which were found clinging to the damp walls and floors at a depth of 980 meters. They had discovered an entirely new genus and species. In 2013, the snails were formally described by taxonomist Dr. Alexander Weygand, who fittingly named the new species Zospeum tholusum, after the Greek word for translucent. Subsequent analysis revealed fascinating details about these tiny troglobites who have adapted to perpetual darkness. These tiny snails have evolved to thrive in the dark, humid conditions inside Lukina Jama Cave. Completely blind, they have no need for vision and have lost their eyes and pigmentation. Their translucent bodies are slimy and soft, with elongated tentacles to help them feel their way along the moist stones. Due to their incredibly slow metabolism, snails can survive over a decade without food in the nutrient-poor cave environment. Zospeum tholusum snails have a limited range, found only within the depths of this cave system. Their numbers remain small, and fragile ecosystems like these are highly vulnerable to disturbance. The implementation of strict protections will be vital to ensuring the survival of these ghostly snails and their unique habitat. Number 14. The Cave of Cannibalism. Excavations conducted in the late 19th and 20th centuries within Belgium's Goye Cave uncovered a trove of Neanderthal fossils dated to around 115,000 years ago. Recent forensic analysis provides compelling evidence that many excavated Neanderthal bones from Goya Cave were deliberately butchered by their own kind. Cut marks and bone modifications suggest the practice of cannibalism among these Neanderthals. Microscopic studies identified unequivocal signs of decapitation, dismemberment, and flesh removal on Goyet Neanderthal skeletal parts. Vertebrae displayed cut marks from removing back muscles. Arm and leg bones systematically showed signs of disarticulation, suggestive of removing limbs. Skull fragments and mandibles bore evidence of cutting attached tongue muscles and extracting brains. Overall, the wounds reflect the skinning, defleshing, and dismembering of complete bodies, indicative of cannibalistic activities. Patterns of cuts imply intimate knowledge of Neanderthal anatomy. How might we interpret these gruesome discoveries? Nutritional cannibalism during famine may offer one explanation for this behavior. Some scholars alternatively propose ritual cannibalism or violence between groups. While shocking today, archaeological and genetic evidence indicates cannibalism was practiced sporadically across various ancient and prehistoric cultures. Discerning the context and meanings behind such practices for Neanderthal communities poses challenges for modern researchers. Number 13. The baby dragons. Within Slovenia's vast network of karst caves lives an elusive yet utterly unique cave dweller, the olm, an aquatic salamander nicknamed the human fish or baby dragon by locals. With their eel-like bodies, tiny eyes, and pink feathery gills, Olms appear like something straight from a fantasy world, yet thrive in total darkness deep underground. Reaching lengths around 30 centimeters, the olm inhabits the extensive cave systems and underground rivers of Slovenia, Italy, and Croatia. They make their homes in freshwater pools within caves, never venturing to the surface. Olms sport a pale skin pigmentation with a slimy exterior. Having adapted to perpetual darkness, they possess no eyesight, but navigate via sensory tentacles and lateral line organs detecting water currents. As olms live up to a century, they retain a neotenic appearance their whole lives. Unlike other amphibians, olms do not undergo metamorphosis from larvae to adult form. Their external gills are fully retained alongside rudimentary lungs, giving them a strange, axolotl-like look, like baby dragons frozen in time. Olms have extremely slow metabolisms suited to food-scarce cave environments. They can withstand over a decade without any food. When feeding, olms detect prey like insects and crustaceans with chemical receptors on their skin and electrical sensors on their snout. While olm cave habitats are threatened by pollution and human disturbance, concerted conservation efforts across Central Europe aim to safeguard their fragile underground ecosystems. With lifespans exceeding humans, perhaps these pale dragons will continue inhabiting Europe's subterranean wonderlands for millennia to come. Number 12. The human skull cups. Deep within Gowf's Cave in Somerset, England, archaeologists made a grim but fascinating discovery: a collection of elaborately crafted skull cups fashioned from ancient human remains. Radiocarbon dating revealed these skull cups to be an astonishing 14,700 years old, making them the oldest known examples of skulls intentionally modified into cup-like vessels. The 3 skull cups unearthed in Gowf's Cave originated from 2 adults and 1 roughly 3-year-old child. Forensic examination indicated the skulls were meticulously processed to produce the cups. The skull fragments were boiled to remove all flesh, muscle, and brain matter. Lower jaws were then detached and likely cracked to access nutritious bone marrow. Finally, the skulls were broken into bowl shapes by horizontal fracturing across the forehead. The jagged edges were delicately chipped into rounded rims, resulting in smooth, comfortable cups. The level of care and effort invested indicates these grim skull cups held deep significance. But why transform the departed into drinkware? Some scholars hypothesize the skull cups held ritualistic meaning, possibly associated with remembering the dead or symbolizing life sustenance. Others propose more functional explanations, like using skulls to hold liquids or display battle trophies. The 3 Gowf's Cave skull cups remain the only examples found in Britain, with similar artifacts discovered across Europe and the Levant. Their age aligns with the late Upper Paleolithic period, when cultural and technological advances were transforming human existence. Clearly, the skull cup creators possessed great skill, finesse, and appreciation of symbolism. While disconcerting today, we cannot project modern sensitivities onto our distant ancestors who inhabited very different worlds. Number 11. The Mobile Cave. Our planet harbors endless mysteries beneath its surface. Caves that have been isolated for countless ages often conceal startling secrets that have the potential to fundamentally alter our understanding of life on Earth. One such subterranean realm is Romania's Mobile Cave, isolated for over 5.5 million years. The cave's perpetual darkness and air laden with toxic gases make it appear completely inhospitable and treacherous for researchers. However, what they discovered inside a cave shocked the entire world. This anomalous cave was first encountered in 1986 near Romania's Black Sea coast during excavations for a potential nuclear power plant. Venturing inside, scientists were met with darkness, scarce oxygen, and an atmosphere saturated with carbon dioxide, methane, and hydrogen sulfide. By all indications, Mobile Cave should be devoid of life. But a closer investigation revealed the opposite. To the astonishment of biologists, the cave teemed with exotic life forms including spiders, insects, crustaceans, and more, uniquely adapted to the extreme environment. Loss of eyes and pigment were common among cave denizens. Slime-coated walls nurtured mats of microbes, providing nourishment. Remarkably, Mobile Cave contained the first ever land-based chemoautotrophic ecosystem known to science. As with peculiar life forms huddled around deep-sea hydrothermal vents, mobile organisms derived energy not from the sun, but from chemosynthesis, synthesizing organic compounds using chemical energy. The cave's food chain relied on chemosynthetic bacteria that metabolized sulfur, methane, and ammonia, sustaining a complex web of life. This bizarre ecosystem had endured isolation for millions of years, evolving its own alien biology exceeding expectations. While bursting with life, Mobile Cave's atmosphere is toxic for humans without protective gear due to high carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide levels. Much of the cave remains uncharted, and researchers believe a trove of bizarre new species awaits revelation in its lightless confines. For now, Mobile Cave offers a glimpse of life's uncanny tenacity, finding a way to flourish even in realms once deemed uninhabitable. It compels reevaluation of assumptions about the limits of habitability. If such biodiversity can arise in endless darkness and poison air, then life may find refuge in unanticipated havens on Earth and beyond. Number 10. The Cheddar Man. In 1903, an extraordinary ancient skeleton was discovered deep inside Gough's Cave in Cheddar Gorge, England. These skeletal remains became known as Cheddar Man, Britain's oldest complete human skeleton, dating back 9,000 years. When genetic analysis was performed over a century later in 2018, the results sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Examination of the Mesolithic skeleton revealed that Cheddar Man belonged to a hunter-gatherer people who inhabited the dense forests of Britain thousands of years before the advent of farming. Radiocarbon dating indicates this individual lived approximately 7,000 BCE, making him over 9,000 years old. Cheddar Man's bones paint a vivid picture of his life as a member of a small community, living off the land during the Mesolithic period. Isotopic analysis of his bones and teeth suggests a largely meat and dairy-based diet, rich in protein. The cool limestone gorge with abundant wildlife and freshwater offered an ideal home. In conjunction with a documentary investigating Somerset's ancient history, DNA analysis was conducted on Cheddar Man's remains. Researchers extracted DNA from his molar and compared it to local residents with ancestral ties to the Cheddar region. Shockingly, one modern-day match emerged: Adrian Target, a local history teacher. Target's DNA aligned closely with Cheddar Man, demonstrating a direct familial link across over 3 generations and 9,000 years, the oldest ever genetic match between ancient human remains and a living descendant. This revelation forces a complete rethink of early Britain's population and their genetic heritage. Rather than European migrants introducing farming to Britain, it now seems more likely these skills developed amongst the existing hunter-gatherer population. Cheddar Man's dark skin and blue eyes also challenge commonly held assumptions. This landmark discovery gives us an unprecedented glimpse into Mesolithic life. The fortunes of Cheddar Man's people were soon to change with the Neolithic Revolution. Around 6,000 years ago, agriculture emerged, ushering in more settled lifestyles. Landscapes shifted from forest to farmland. But Cheddar Man belonged to Britain's last communities of hunter-gatherers, a poignant echo of a vanished way of life. Number 9. The winemaking. The discovery of 6,000-year-old wine residue in a Sicilian cave has rewritten the timeline of winemaking in Italy, pushing it back over 3,000 years earlier than previously thought. This finding challenges the prevailing view that winemaking arrived with colonization by ancient Greeks in the 8th century BCE. Instead, it appears Sicily had a flourishing wine culture far earlier. In the 2020 study, researchers unearthed pottery shards from terracotta jars in the Finocchi cave on Sicily's southwest coast. Chemical analysis identified tartaric acid deposits, a key fingerprint compound in wine. These trace elements point decisively to the jars once containing wine, dating back to around 4000 BCE. The early Sicilians used clay jars like their ancient counterparts across the Mediterranean. However, this study shifted assumptions that the practice began later, introduced by the Greeks. Tartaric acid salts confirmed these Copper Age Sicilians were making wine from grapes 6,000 years ago. Growing grapes and producing wine was well suited to Sicily's fertile valleys, hillside vineyards, and Mediterranean climate. The Finocchi cave site overlooks the modern-day town of Salemi, where vineyards still thrive today producing full-bodied reds. This discovery highlights innovation and sophistication in early Sicilian culture. Mastering winemaking involves harvesting grapes at optimal ripeness, extracting juices, initiating fermentation with wild yeasts, and then storing wine safely. Residue analysis gives us a chemical snapshot of this ancient craft. Sicily can now claim a proud 6,000-year legacy of viticulture and winecraft. What's more, these Copper Age winemakers likely traded their wines overseas, just as Sicilians do today. The archaeologists suggest wine may have been exported to nearby Cyprus and Egypt. This reveals the far-reaching influence of Sicily's prehistoric wine culture. Number 8. The human canine footprints. A fascinating discovery in France's Chauvet Cave sheds new light on the origins of the enduring human-canine bond. Here, preserved in the cave floor, are parallel tracks of footprints dating back 26,000 years. The prints clearly indicate a Paleolithic child walking side by side with a wolf or dog into the depths of the cave. This evidence points to a relationship between humans and canines extending back thousands of years before domestication. The child's prints are believed to belong to an 8 to 10-year-old who ventured deep into the cave system up to 460 meters from the entrance. Accompanying the child are the paw prints of a canid, intermittently walking and changing pace in sync with the child. The footprints cover over 150 meters, fading gradually deeper into the cave's unseen reaches. Charcoal marks along the trail show where the adventurers paused to tend to their flickering torchlight. This poignant scene was fortuitously preserved in calcite deposits until the cave's discovery. These tracks challenge prevailing theories that dogs were only domesticated around 15,000 years ago when hunter-gatherers began settling into agricultural life. Instead, it seems humans shared a special rapport with wolves reaching back to our Paleolithic ancestors. Rather than humans taming and breeding wolves, the partnership likely emerged gradually based on common social structure and hunting interests. Early humans and wolves worked together, forging bonds of friendship and mutual aid, the foundations of our enduring and affectionate relationships with dogs. This remarkable evidence from the Chauvet Cave suggests Paleolithic children explored and played with wolf cubs, who later accompanied them as loyal companions. Our connection with our furry friends echoes back through the ages, originating in companionship, not captivity. Number 7. The Mayan sacrificial victim. Deep inside the Astounding cave in Belize lies a macabre remnant of ancient Maya religious ritual, the crystallized skeleton of an adolescent boy believed to have been sacrificed around 1200 CE. This cave was used for sacrificial rites by the ancient Maya between 200 to 900 CE, who saw it as an entrance to the underworld and abode of their gods. Archaeologists exploring the cave in the late 20th century discovered relics left behind from elaborate ceremonies, including ceramic pots and stone blades used in offerings to the gods. Alongside these artifacts lie skeletal remains of sacrifices, both children and adults. But the most haunting discovery is the calcified corpse of a 17-year-old known as the Crystal Maiden. His bones and skull are entirely encrusted with sparkling crystal calcite after centuries of lying undisturbed in this damp cavern. Though initially thought to be a girl, analysis later showed the skeleton belonged to a boy. His crushed and fractured vertebrae suggest his slow death by torture, possibly as an offering to bring rain. Though disturbing today, such sacrifices were seen as honoring and appeasing the Mayan gods. The eerie sight of the Crystal Maiden remaining frozen in time provokes both horror and fascination. Gazing upon this relic, we are reminded of the very different mentalities and belief systems of ancient civilizations compared to our own. Though human sacrifice is unequivocally condemned today, it was intrinsically woven into Maya spirituality and worship. While witnessing such practices firsthand would undoubtedly shock modern sensitivities, examining ancient sacrificial rituals can provide insight into the complex cosmology of past cultures. Astounding continues to reveal captivating secrets of the Maya underworld, transporting us back through the centuries to glimpse a vanished people's sacred rites. Number 6. The Hobbits. In 2003, the remnants of an ancient species of diminutive human were unearthed on the Indonesian island of Flores. These skeletal remains belonged to an extinct hominin dubbed Homo floresiensis, nicknamed Hobbits due to their tiny stature. This momentous find stunned archaeologists, compelling a fundamental rethink of human evolution. Found within Liangbua Cave, the Hobbit bones date back 60,000 to 100,000 years. Analysis of the partial skeletons indicates these hominins stood just 1 meter tall, fully grown, and possessed grapefruit-sized brains. Their skull and jaw features resemble ancestral species like Homo erectus, but their skeletons are uniquely different. Homo floresiensis anatomy combines human-like traits with more primitive ones, like short legs and arm bones similar to ancient Australopithecines. Scientists continue debating whether these remains represent an unknown early human lineage or modern humans afflicted by disease. But strong evidence points to the hobbits being a distinct Homo species specialized for island life. The hobbits hunted pygmy elephants, giant rodents, and Komodo dragons on Flores, using sophisticated stone tools. Their tool-making skills and cooperative hunting abilities suggest a highly intelligent cultural species with brains 1/3 modern human size. Cave deposits also show they mastered fire and occupied Liangbua until vanishing 50,000 years ago. What catalyzed the extinction of Homo floresiensis remains unclear, though potential factors are volcanic eruptions, environmental changes, or the arrival of modern humans. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. Look at this image. By the looks of it, it appears to be a massive castle hidden inside a cave. The people standing there look absolutely tiny against the gigantic sculptures. We don't have a lot of information on this fascinating find, but here's what we know so far. It was discovered by amateur explorers exploring an Egyptian cave near Cairo. But the scale of the structures and the remarkable stonework raise so many questions. How long ago was this built? Who created it and why? What was its purpose? Do you have any additional information or theories about this mystifying cave? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Number 5. The Alien Paintings. Tucked amidst the rural badlands of Sharama, India is a series of extraordinary cave paintings dating back approximately 10,000 years. These vivid frescoes depict otherworldly humanoid figures that some have interpreted as ancient aliens. Though fantastical, the curious drawings provide insight into the symbolism and spiritual beliefs of our prehistoric ancestors. The Karama cave art was created using rudimentary yet strikingly vivid ochre pigments in red and orange hues. Figures are drawn in surprising detail, including stylized human-like characters with large oval heads, exaggerated almond-shaped eyes, and the absence of noses and mouths. Several figures are shown holding spherical or rod-like objects aloft that resemble modern depictions of aliens wielding weapons. Some archaeologists suggest the paintings show ancient astronauts who once visited Earth and became immortalized in the artwork of awed prehistoric witnesses. However, more sober analysis indicates the aliens represent ritual images tied to the spiritual cosmology of their Stone Age creators. The overwhelmingly supernatural themes in prehistoric cave art worldwide likely reflect shamanic religions focused on animal spirits and their connection to fertility, hunting luck, and the afterlife. The elaborate Sharama drawings offer clues to the mythology and visionary spiritual realities of humans 10,000 plus years ago, even if those beliefs seem bizarrely alien through our modern secular lens. While we may never fully decipher their meaning, the Sharama paintings provide an evocative portal into Paleolithic minds. Our tech-driven modern society seems a universe apart. Yet echoes of our shared human psyche resonate across the millennia, a humbling reminder that we carry the dreams of our ancient ancestors within us, for good or ill. Number 4. The mysterious LongU Caves. Hewn out of the sandstone hills along the Ling River within China's Zhejiang province lies the mystifying complex of the LongU Caves. Since their discovery in 1992, these artificial caves with unknown origins have perplexed experts, giving rise to tantalizing theories about their puzzling creation. Spanning over 50,000 square meters, the LongU Caves comprise 24 cave chambers, the largest reaching heights of 30 meters. No historical records mention the cave's construction, which shows no obvious signs of the tools or techniques employed. The cave's smooth walls, ceilings, and pillar surfaces reflect precision carving. Stone carvings and statues of revered figures point to the site's cultural and religious importance. The cave furnishings and drainage systems indicate they were not simply mines or sites of material extraction. Nor do they resemble naturally formed caverns. Archaeologists have proposed dates for the cave's creation ranging from ancient times to the Song dynasty around 1000 CE. But a definitive date remains elusive. While scouted as a tourist destination since the 1990s, the caves today see few visitors due to formal archaeological efforts to learn more about the cave's history. Theories swirl about the cave's possible functions. Details like ventilation shafts and high elevations make military shelters unlikely. More plausible ideas suggest the site served ritual, burial, or storage needs. But their full purpose remains a profound mystery. Number 3. The Kabayan mummies. While different cultures have had their unique ways of laying their loved ones to rest, baking them isn't your everyday choice. But surprisingly, the captivating Kabayan mummies of the Philippines took a rather unconventional path, getting a toasty treatment that left us with astonishingly well-preserved, centuries-old bodies tucked away in the caves of the Kabayan Mountains. The Kabayan mummies, also called fire mummies, originated from the Ibeloy ethnic group that inhabited the mountainous Kabayan region of northern Philippines. The Ibeloy practiced a sophisticated mummification process based on their spiritual beliefs about the afterlife journey. Preservation began with carefully removing the corpse's abdominal organs, then scrubbing and cleaning the body with water from bamboo poles. Next, the corpse was placed in a fetal position within a hollowed-out tree trunk. Hot stones heated in a bonfire were inserted beneath and above the body, gradually roasting it while smoke vented through small holes. This slow roasting took place for weeks or even months, until the flesh completely desiccated while smoke permeated the remains. The mummies acquired their distinctive black and brown coloration through accumulated soot deposits both externally and in the respiratory and digestive tracts. Mummies were then removed and wrapped in reed mats or dressed in traditional Ibeloy garments. The result of this intricate process was leathery, preserved corpses that could persist for centuries in Kabayan's cool, high-altitude caves where they were discovered. The practice reflected Ibeloy's spiritual beliefs about respecting elders and ancestors. Ritual offerings were made to the mummies, which were kept in homes and sacred caves as embodiments of revered ancestors that provided protection. Archaeological analysis reveals that the Kabayan mummies date from 1100 to 1400 CE, though oral traditions suggest the practice began much earlier. Over 300 mummies have been discovered across the Kabayan caves, many sporting vivid tattoos still visible after centuries. Their unique process of mummification and exceptional preservation make the Kabayan mummies an intriguing glimpse into ancient indigenous death rites. Number 2. The ancient human footprints. In Romania's Chior-Izbuc cave, an astonishing snapshot of Ice Age life was preserved in the imprints of prehistoric feet upon the soft cave floor. Around 400 exceptionally ancient human tracks were discovered lining the cave passageways, providing invaluable glimpses into the movements and footwear of Europe's early modern humans tens of thousands of years ago. These fossilized human footprints were initially believed to be 10,000 to 15,000 years old. However, stunning new uranium-thorium dating results place the tracks at 36,000 years old, firmly within the Paleolithic period. This doubles the previously accepted age, making Chior-Izbuc cave home to the oldest known human footprints in Europe. The tracks likely belong to Homo sapiens who donned footwear to traverse the slick clay cave floors. Most tracks are barefoot imprints of individuals estimated between size 37 to 44 and U.S. men's 6 to 12. But a few larger tracks over size 46 show the outline of simple leather sandals, the oldest direct evidence of Paleolithic footwear in Europe. The sheer abundance of tracks represents dozens of individuals, including children, who left smaller tracks around 22 centimeter long. The footprints lead into the depths of Siur Izbuk cave, spanning 98 meters across 3 galleries, before disappearing beneath the depths of a subterranean lake. These fossilized tracks offer remarkable glimpses into the lives of Ice Age hunter-gatherers, revealing details about group composition, cave use, choice of footwear, and even anatomical features. Isotopic analysis of 2 toe bone fossils found in situ suggests the tracks were left by anatomically modern Europeans rather than migrating Neanderthals. Number 1. The Greattala pipe organ. Nestled amidst the fantastical mineral formations of Virginia's Luray caverns resides a one-of-a-kind contraption, the Greattala pipe organ, a massive musical instrument that harnesses the cave's natural acoustic properties to produce haunting melodies. Invented in 1956 by mathematician and electronic scientist Leland W. Sprinkle, the Greattala pipe organ represents a creative triumph of human ingenuity and nature's sublime designs working in harmony. To create this massive underground organ, Sprinkle carefully surveyed the caverns and identified 37 stalactites capable of producing musical tones when struck. After meticulously tuning each stalactite to a specific musical pitch, Sprinkle linked them through an elaborate mechanism involving rubber mallets connected to a 4-keyword console. When organ keys are pressed, the corresponding stalactite is struck with a mallet, emitting tones through the cave's magnificent natural acoustics. The largest of these subterranean stalactite pipes reaches lengths of up to 7.6 meters and weighs several tons. Yet despite their enormous size, tones from tapping the cave formations can play up to 4 full octaves of melodies. The organ keyboard console is located 150 meters from the stalactite pipes, connected by over 8 kilometers of concealed wiring. The innovative Greattala pipe organ remains the world's largest musical instrument. Its rippling subterranean notes have been dazzling audiences at Luray caverns for over 60 years, blending human creativity and natural splendor into an experience that transports listeners into a subterranean soundscape resonant with inspiration. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.